Welcome, comrades, to the program All About Cars. My name is Ralph Medeiros. I own and operate Ralph's Auto Center, located on Church Street in the north end of New Bedford, just off Exit 5 off of Route 140. And please give us a call here, 996-0500. We can talk about whatever's on your mind. Well, you just heard Enrico Caruso. That was done in, 100 years ago. Can you imagine that recording? I don't think his voice is, I don't think another person has come to Earth with a voice quite like his. Played him with, daylight savings time starting tonight, actually. Clocks go ahead. Technically speaking, at 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And we go into early daylight savings time. And spring is, it's less than 10 days away. So that's good news. And that's where light will be greater than darkness. Okay, so for me, that's a big moment. Some people like the winters. They like the darkness. I'm not one of them. So give us a call here, 996-0500. We've got a couple of calls here. I guess I'll have to... I always want to mess up. Hi, very good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, Ralph, N1HCW checking in.
Hey, how did Caruso sound over that Atwater?
Well, I'm not running the Atwater today.
Oh, okay.
I'm running the 1950-ish Zenith console tube set.
Oh, okay. Well, that's certainly a nice set, too.
Oh, yeah, it's got reverberation with the old spring and everything, similar to the Fender twin reverb guitar amplifier system, same idea.
And what's that, 50s vintage?
Yeah, 50s vintage, around that.
So,
yeah, all tube.
Nice wooden cabinet?
Oh, yeah. It's a monster.
Is it? Yeah.
But, yeah, so we're checking in with that radio today.
Some of those are becoming quite the collector radios now.
Oh, yeah, I got quite a thing here. I've been doing that for years, so.
Yeah, there's a big...
It's all good. U.S. only. I don't mess around with anything else, so.
You don't like any of the Teleflunken?
No, well, yeah, I got a couple Grundig consoles, which are decent, the German-made stuff.
Yeah, the Germans made some great stuff after the war.
Pretty good engineering, that's for sure.
Yeah, after the war, and they were trying to rebuild their country, and they really built some marvelous sets.
All my stuff is all vacuum, So
yeah.
I like messing with that stuff. So.
I have a nice Grundig.
You get the tube funk,
Yeah, I have a nice Grundig from the 60s. Beautiful cabinet. The early 60s. The mahogany on it, it's just beautiful. It's
Hey, radio things aside, I'm looking for a set of LT 255 75R17s in that category for the front of my truck. It's a half-ton. It's an 11 Sierra.
Uh-huh.
But I found the LT tires, of course, hold it a lot better load,
Well, yeah, they're light truck rated, so...
Yeah, right, so...
What's that size again?
I'm looking for a set of the, for the front, nothing that aggressive, of course. It's a two-wheel drive. It's an 11 Sierra,
It's an LT... What's the size tire?
255 75R17.
255 75... R15?
17.
7. Good size tire, then, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What brand do you have in the rear now?
I'm going to say... What's the brand on the back there, Matt? Were they... I forgot what they... I think they're Bridgestones or something like that, whatever.
Well, give me the call.
But the ones in the back I put on because of they're aggressive. They're snow-style ones,
Yeah, but are you going to run those through the summer?
Yeah, I don't care because I'm on the motorcycle and... the truck primarily gets used on the off season, so.
Yeah. Do you want to run? Do you want to match them, or do you want to just?
No, I don't want to go with the Gorilla ones in the front. I want to go with something less aggressive, just a regular street tread. But
why don't you let me know the brand you got? Now I can look up some tires.
Yeah. No, they're BF Goodrich. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
BF Goodrich, huh?
So.
I can get you a quote on those.
Yeah. Okay. I'll stop by and we'll take it from there.
All right, fair enough.
I appreciate it, Ralph.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, take care.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye.
Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, I've never called before.
Oh, thank you.
But I have a car question. Okay. I have an 04 Ford Freestar, which I absolutely love. I bought it new. I have almost 260,000 miles on it. Mm-hmm. And I've not spent any money on it other than, just regular maintenance. But now I'm having a problem with the coolant. I'm putting it in, and it's disappearing. It's not leaking out. I know there are issues,
Okay.
and apparently does it go into the oil or whatever.
Right.
And I know there's some foam in the, around the edge of the oil cap.
Well,
So,
that might not be. That could be just normal condenser of the water moisture, condensation.
okay.
So maybe.
But
I mean, it could be related. I don't know. But tell me a little bit. When you say you add coolant, how often do you add coolant?
Oh, I would say about every 10 days.
Every 10 days, and you're filling the bottle, correct?
And it takes, yes.
And what are you filling up? How much you putting in?
I'm putting in, actually, when I put it up to the line where it says, it just goes down right away. And so I've, been putting in more.
Okay.
So I use, so when I buy one of the, I don't know, what is that, a gallon or whatever,
Yeah.
I put in about at least 3/4 of that. When I first started doing this about a month ago, I put in the whole thing.
Wow.
And my son said, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." But
Well, if it's asking for it, you're going to feed it, right? So.
Yes.
Now, and you have 200,000?
Almost 260.
Wow. Oh, you're a trooper. And so 260, and you don't see any puddles under the car?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay. Now, have you had the oil? You've had the oil change recently?
I haven't changed it since this began, so I wondered if.
How far back does that go?
I would say, I think it would have been like November.
Wow. So it's a while. Well, you know how to check your oil, right?
Yes, and I checked that. My son just checked that, and that was good. Since I bought the car, my father taught me many years ago, change the oil every 3,000, even though they tell you don't have to do that now.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much,
But when you check the dipstick, is the oil look? Is it? I mean, it's probably going to look dark, maybe dirty, as long as it's been in there. But does it look like coffee milk right now?
No.
When you check it, it doesn't look like coffee milk.
No.
Okay, so it sounds like the oil is not getting into the base pan then.
Okay.
Okay, so that around the oil cap, you said it looked wet or coffee colored, right?
Well, it was
the oil
it was like
cap.
a foam. When my son checked it yesterday, he said, "Oh yeah, you're getting some foam around the cap." I could see it.
Where you add the oil, correct?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
the oil cap.
Well, that's probably That's probably just the normal, condensation. Okay.
Okay.
But if you're checking the dipstick and the dipstick doesn't look like it's coffee milk color, you know what I mean? Like you made some Silmo coffee milk or something.
Okay.
If it doesn't look that way, like foamy and like a tannish color, then you're probably if it looks just dirty oil, and it doesn't have the water in it and any antifreeze, because it would definitely contaminate it. Well, the next thing to check is, you know how to check your ATF, your transmission?
No, I'll have my son do that.
Well, check that and see if that has a foamy color to it. If it doesn't look red, or probably dark red if you haven't changed it in recent times, it might be a dark color. But if it has water in it and antifreeze, it should show, because you could be getting it into the transmission as well. So it could be disappearing there. Or if that has not been contaminated and it just shows a normal oil that's whatever age it's at, and it's not been adulterated, you could be using this it could be burning up through the cylinders, and it's just being turned to steam and sent out the back. Do you notice your exhaust being more?
No.
No. Well, it's going somewhere. So you could be burning it, or it's in the going into the transmission. Or at this point, as much as you're adding, your transmission would be overflowing by now, or slipping, or having other problems. I've seen different cases.
Yeah, the car runs beautifully. The van runs beautifully. I love it.
Yeah.
And,
well, if you looked at it, I could look at it, give you a New York Minute, and give you a quick look at it, and see if I could, without a charge, I'd give you a New York Minute to look at it, and just verify those basic things you and I just discussed.
Okay, very good.
Just
very good.
Keep you out of the woods there if it's, going this far.
Yeah, I need her to hang on a while longer.
Yeah, I understand. Trust me, I truly understand.
Yeah. When I went online, it said that it's a problem with this vehicle with high mileage, and that would it have been a head gasket?
Yeah, that's what I was
something.
thinking.
They said, well, like $1,300, which I'm obviously not going to invest.
Yeah.
And then even then, you don't know what you're going to find. But I just am believing that it won't be that serious. And you're encouraging what you're saying. I'm going to stop in.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're adding that much, you could have a small leak there that's evaporating on the radiator. It gets hot enough, it could steam off and evaporate without dripping to the ground.
Okay.
And that would be the best scenario, frankly. If it's leaking into the base pan, then you definitely have an issue with a head gasket, cracked head, or or if it's going into the transmission. But at this point in the transmission, you would have been probably acting weird, the tranny and shifting, and as much coolant has gone into it. I've seen it go. Basically, I've seen it go into base pans often, and also into transmissions. Most people get, they don't expect the transmission to get contaminated, but it does happen. It does happen. So. But bring it by, and I can give it a quick,
Okay.
And see if we can keep you on the road a bit longer.
All right, I
without
appreciate
making
that.
a serious investment,
Right. And the best time to stop in?
Let's see. Days go by so fast. Are you, like, during the week you're available?
Well, I live in Wareham, but coming up is not a problem, and I'm in
late Monday or early afternoons or something like that.
Okay.
Just before lunch, just after lunch, in that time.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the call. Bye-bye. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Ralphie.
Billy.
My part coming yet?
No, I'll check on it when I.
Okay.
Yes, so, how you doing? All right?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you're going to be getting with this weather. It almost feels like spring. I'm thinking, but the cars are still sleeping. All the antique shows, they're not going to be on the road yet. All the old cars.
They'll start around end of April.
Yeah, they're still a little bit off, right?
No, a bit off, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the season's coming on early. It seems. We had a very mild winter.
Oh yeah, very nice out today.
It's a great winter. I think working people got a break between low oil prices and gas prices for heating your house and driving your car, and heat and oil for heating your house. And we've gotten a break there. It's the only break working folks have gotten.
Yeah, you're right.
And the weather.
Yeah.
So God has been good to us. The state and the governments haven't, though. Everything else. So when you look at everything else, the only break we've gotten is from the universe.
No break from that, guys. No way.
Only the universe has given us a break so far.
Yeah. So what's happened up there at your dealership?
Oh, we're just working, trying to stay ahead of the game, We have to keep running and harder, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going over our... I don't know, I don't know. But my Tammy, my... office manager.
Yeah.
She was really depressed. Look at this. I look at it. We're getting a 25% increase in our health care plans for our company. And I'm sure we're not alone. I'm sure anyone else out there with a business, if you've been whacked as hard as we've been whacked, let me know.
Yep.
But we're going up 25%.
Yep.
And, I mean, you just, it's so regressive on
between
people.
Insurance and health plans, everything's gone up.
Yeah. I don't see how their expenses in the healthcare industry have gone up that much. I wonder if we're subsidizing more and more of those people who have no insurance, and the burden is falling on those who are still working, and the plans are getting out of whack.
Well, same thing like your taxes. If people don't pay them, you have to pay more to make up for it.
And she was really upset. She says, I have to pay all these co-pays and prescriptions, and other people show up, they pay under Mass Health $2, $3, and they go. And she says, my kids get sick, it costs me a fortune. And I have a health plan. And I said, yeah, I know. She's got a family plan, so it is expensive. But I don't know. I just think I don't see none of the politicians addressing these issues for small businesses
They're
at
just
all.
fighting among themselves.
Well, I'm talking to local politicians
Even
at the state level where they can fight for some reforms.
They were fighting themselves the other day on Channel 18 about not being invited to go see Bill Clinton and all that stuff. I mean, this is important.
They're arguing, well, that's the pettiness of it all.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what, though,
so they're fighting just like the bobos we got up there in Washington.
Unfortunately,
so I don't know how we're going to straighten this country up.
Unfortunately,
I hear nothing that interests me in any one of them. They haven't mentioned nothing about anything.
So
let's bash the next guy.
Well, unfortunately, they're talking about if they're worried about who went to see Bill Clinton. It's really things that don't matter.
That's what it was on TV, and they went round and round. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Wow, this is very important." How about some of the problems we have in the city?
The realities are, it's things that don't matter. unfortunately. But what are you going to do?
Well, from city to state to federal government, it's the same story. You know?
I think this healthcare. I mean, Massachusetts is always, we have this the Bush plan, the Obama plans based on Romney Care, I guess they called it in the beginning, here in Massachusetts. But it's getting to the point now, and I don't see the medical industry. Every time you go in there now, they don't even talk to you until they say, "Well, you owe a copay. Where's your card?"
First thing they ask you.
Yeah, where's your card? They won't even talk to you and make sure until they verify.
You make an appointment, they say, "Okay, don't forget, bring all your medical cards and all your insurance cards. Not if you're sick or you're dying."
Yeah, well, they won't even talk to you until they make sure you're in the system and they're going to get paid, which I can understand because they've probably been screwed more times you can talk about. But so I can understand they want, they need to get paid. I understand that. But I'm questioning how, we can get whacked with these massive increases that are way out of proportion.
Well, just think about this now, Ralph, okay? With all this damage going on in the country, with all these storms, what do you think your house insurance and your insurance is going to go up in the house, in the business?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Does that pay for all that damage down south or whatever? It's going to go sky high. I mean, the insurance now on a house or a business, that's sky high now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm speaking for myself, having a business in New Bedford, you being an urban businessman, I pay a much higher premium on my dealer plates, my garage liability than if I was in the suburbs. That's upsetting, but that's the realities of it. And the same goes for the average Joe who has a personal car. He pays a much higher insurance rate being in New Bedford than he would if he was in Dartmouth, Freetown, Wareham, or Acushnet. He's paying several $100s more. So it's just the realities of, But you have to create an environment where we have a bit more prosperity, to say the least. So, I don't know. You have to stay positive, but I just don't see really much discussion on the things that matter in trying to resolve these difficult issues and make the area more prosperous. And when you have such regressive increases in your taxes and your health care plans, your insurances, and the insurances usually, like, we pay a good proportion of the individual's health plan at our company. Some companies, I think by law, you have to pay a minimum of 33% of the plan as a business if you have more than 9 employees or something like that. I don't know. But I think under 9, you don't have to have a health plan. Over 9, you do have to offer, and I think you have to subsidize it up to 33% on the individual. So, but these increases, so I question, I'm sure that, the hospitals have increases and the doctors, but a 25% whack, I don't know. I think we're subsidizing a bigger proportion of people who are just non-productive and who don't, and for numerous reasons.
A lot of those people that come into this country because they get it anyway. They can go to the hospital and whatever and get everything free, and that means people that do have insurance are going to pay higher to make up the difference.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have to get control of these costs, right?
Well, I don't know how they're going to control it because our politicians don't seem to be aggressing anything, nothing, not any plans. Just I watch them and I can't believe it that they rather talk about his hands is too fat or too big or something. Well, I think we got more problems than if his hand is fat or big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, let's get off of that because that's just depressing. I feel good today. And it's going to make me feel bad.
Yeah.
What do you know about Indian motorcycles?
What do I know about Indian motorcycles?
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen they're making them now, I think. Indian came back.
They're starting to, right.
They're starting to. They're making, and it's an American-made motorcycle.
Yep.
And I think they brag they're more American than Harley is. But I remember the old Indians.
Okay.
The flatheads they had, and the old, that's going back. But I don't think, well, you're probably talking the Indians of the 40s and the 50s and even earlier, much earlier.
Yeah, way back from the 20s all the way on up.
Yeah, they were one of the first, I think, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah. Where were they made?
Where were they made?
Yes, sir. Where?
Where?
Yes.
West Bend, Indiana.
Oh, no. No. Christ, well, all right, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to let you bury yourself. Go ahead.
They were made on An Indian reservation.
Yeah, well, that's the name, all right. You're close, but not. That's horseshoes. You didn't get a ringer.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, Billy. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Counts. You're right.
Yeah. I have no idea where the Indians were made. I can't remember.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, geez, you're going back to the first one that was built, right?
Well, that's what it says. Springfield, Massachusetts.
I think the first automobile was built in Springfield, Massachusetts as well.
But also now, Schwinn bicycles. You used to make bicycles, correct?
Yep.
Now, there was another company making motorcycles back then, and they sold out to Schwinn bicycles. Any idea who that is?
They sold out to Schwinn
bicycles, yes.
And they made bicycles back then, too?
No, just Schwinn made bicycles. This company was making motorcycles.
Oh.
But they sold the motorbikes business to Schwinn.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be a tough one today, Ralphie.
Yeah, that sounds tough, huh?
Yeah.
It wasn't Clinton. Clinton motorcycles, no? There used to be a Clinton outboard, and I'm thinking of Clinton outboards, huh? So this is an old brand going way back, huh?
Going back to the 20s.
The 20s, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And they made a motorcycle, and they sold to a bicycle company.
They sold their business to Schwinn Bicycle Company.
Figuring they were going to make a motorbike as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You got me, Billy. Uncle.
Ace Motor Corporation.
Ace
1927, yep.
Wow. Ace Motor?
Yeah.
Ace Motor Corporation.
Right.
And they marketed under what name? Ace?
Ace Motor Corporation.
Ace Motor Corporation.
Yeah.
Ace? Yeah, see, I'm not familiar with them at all. I can't say.
All right, now what happened here was Indian was making their own engines, right?
Yeah.
But later on, it was much cheaper for them to have this company make their engines for Indian.
Huh.
And this was this company was located in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The city of brotherly love.
Yeah.
Philadelphia. And they made engines.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And the feature engine, once the Schwinn started to make some engines for the new bikes features new engines with the F-head design. Now, I don't know what that means, F-head. You do?
F-head?
Yeah,
if I recall correctly, F-head is when you have one valve in the block, like a flathead, and one valve in the head. Right?
All right.
Because an L-head was flathead, right?
Yes.
L-heads were flatheads, right? So flathead meaning the valves, for folks out there who don't know what we're talking about, is when the intake and exhaust valves are built into the block of the engine and not the head that goes on top of the engine, which allows the pistons to have compression. An F-head, because Jeep built some F-head engines, Billy, during the 40s and early 50s.
Yeah, because in 1941, the engine was a 441-4, they called it.
Yeah.
It was a V-twin. It said the Duesenberg of motorcycles were the four-cylinder masterpiece in the world of V-twins.
Huh. This is on the bike now you're talking.
This is on the bike, on a 1941 Indian.
41 Indian.
Yep.
Wow. That's going back some years. And that 41 Indian was, that was a V?
A V-twins.
Like the Harleys.
This is manufactured through 28 through 45.
Yeah, it's like the Harley Davidsons.
Yeah.
Well, those are probably flatheads for sure, though, right? Well, maybe not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there were flats, though. I think there were flats on the Indian.
I don't know much about motorcycles, but I thought I'd catch you sleeping today. But
yeah, no,
because I know you know a little something about motorcycles. I see you in your showroom.
Yeah. Well, my dad had a couple of old Harleys with the suicide, I can't even say it today, the suicide shifter. Remember that?
The knob on the side of the tank?
Yes.
Yes.
And you used to hit the pedal to put it, at the bottom had the big pedals you put your foot in to shift it.
Right, to shift
the clutch and all that.
I see that here, yes.
Yeah, and there was a suicide shifter, and he had two of them in the showroom when I was going way back. This is early 60s. And I can remember that being, and they were big bikes, beautiful bikes, which he had at the time, and they sold. I didn't have a bike license at that point, but I've had a bike license, a motorcycle license, since I've been, 17, 16. So I've had one for years. But I got into the Jap bikes as a young guy, Japanese bikes, Bridgestones, when they came into the country with a motorcycle. And
but you know something? It says these engines were air-cooled, all-aluminum, inline 4. 40 horse.
Inline 4?
Yeah.
Well, that's remarkable for an inline 4.
Yeah, and they were air-cooled.
Oh, the Indians had that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of that.
They
Yeah,
were 40 horse.
Yeah, inline, but the engine was mounted. It was inline, but Billy, wasn't that engine? The engine was
single carburetor, overhead intake valves, and side flathead style exhaust valves.
Huh. Well, interesting. But that how was that engine mounted, though? Was it mounted like the side of the block facing forward, or was it like
you can see it just under the tank?
So the engine was mounted with the number 1 cylinder looking forward.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it wasn't mounted like the Kawasaki's mounted them, with the engine going the east-west, so to speak. All right. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean now?
Yeah. I remember seeing those. Yeah. I wonder how the last cylinder got cooled, because it was at the end. It'd be hot to get the air. They had to duck it down there.
Yeah, because it showed big Indian head and it says Indian Motorcycle Company, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up on my.
Knob on the side here, like your dad had, with the round knob, and it shifted right along on the right-hand side, where you could shift it.
I'm trying to look it up on my laptop here, but I can't get my Wi-Fi here. Matt, do we got a problem here with Wi-Fi? We got a technical problem, Houston. So. Yeah. I was trying to pull it up. I remember looking at those old Indians, though. Yeah. I never had one. I had a Triumph 450 single cylinder. It was like a thumper. You could pull tree stumps out with that thing. It was a.
Yeah, but like you say, this is a big motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's got fenders, and it's all chromed out and unbelievable.
Did you see anything there on Henderson motorcycles?
No, it was just about Indian.
Okay, because Tammy had sent me a text here on Henderson motorcycles, so I don't know if you. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time either.
No, but it's what the specifications are: air-cooled, all aluminum, inline 4, 40 horse, single carburetor, overhead intake valves, and side flathead style exhaust valves.
There you go. So they called it an F-head.
You know?
That's the one you're saying there was an F-head, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just what I said then. The one valve in the head and the other valve in the block.
Well, that was something different, huh?
Yeah. The Jeeps ran an F-head they had on a 4-cylinder they built. Not very common, though. That's not something you see, in today's...
every day, yeah.
Yeah, in today's engines, everything's overhead. Everything's either chain or belt-driven.
Yeah.
Actually, they're coming out now. They're playing with technology. They want to use solenoids to open the valves.
Oh, Jesus.
Electric solenoids. So they can do away with the camshaft and all the drive line. That would save a lot of money, lower noise, lighten the engines, make them get better fuel mileage. But imagine telling a customer, hey, listen, while your engine's skipping, I got to replace one of your solenoids on the valves. What the hell are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
It's an electronic solenoid that's actuated by ECU, engine control module. It's going to be a whole different way of working and thinking about engines, how they run.
Just like coils. Now, years ago, you had one coil, operated whatever, 6 and an 8. Now, you got them for everyone.
Yeah.
Any cylinder.
Yeah, they say they're hot spark, yeah.
Yeah, what a difference. Well, Ralphie.
All right, Billy.
All right. It's draw today, because neither one of us did too good.
Yeah. Well,
you didn't know what I didn't know what F-head was, but I know now.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know where Indian, the first one, was built in Mass. I think the first car was assembled in Massachusetts, in Springfield.
Yeah, way back 18-something, I believe.
Springfield did a lot of first. I think basketball was invented in Springfield.
Yep.
Right?
Well, they got the basketball right here in Springfield, Mass, right?
The Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
And that came out of... Matt's rebooting the computers here, Matt. I hear Windows coming back up. So, all right, Billy.
All right, Ralph.
Yep.
Have a good day.
We'll talk.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. you can give us a call here at 996-0500, 996-0500. We can talk about whatever's on your mind. Just a little factoids here. Today, sunrise was at 6 o'clock sharp, okay? And believe me, the universe doesn't wait for anyone, even me. 6 o'clock, the sun came up. That was official sunrise. We gained 11 minutes from last Saturday morning. Sunset, 5:48 this evening. We gained 9 minutes. This week, from last Saturday, anyway, we've gained 20 minutes, so we're almost up to the maximum amount of light gain. So we're really starting to climb because, well, spring's right around the corner. We're almost halfway up the hill, so to speak, in the gaining of daylight. So enjoy it because we're almost halfway there, and before you know it, we'll be at the top, and then the tide of light will be rushing out. But I don't want to talk about that yet because we're not there yet. So no use being negative this early in the game. So we gained 20 minutes from last Saturday. So far, from the first day of winter, we've gained 2 hours and 39 minutes of daylight. The tide of light has come to the northern hemisphere and leaving the southern hemisphere. They're about to go into fall, and we're about to go into spring. So that's the good news. Okay, the days are getting longer. Moonrise was at 8:20 this morning. And I don't know if you, for those of you out there who pay attention, saw the moon last night. It was absolutely gorgeous, setting in the horizon, heading over to the northwest. It was beautiful. I think it was almost a quarter moon. And this evening, it'll be setting around 10:19. And if the skies are clear, you'll probably have the opportunity to enjoy it and watch it. And the skies have been absolutely gorgeous at night with the different planets in the skies. You have to be aware of what's happening around you. Can't pay attention to what's going around in the world here because everybody's crazy. The world's nuts. Low tide will be at 3:56, so it's not that far away. High tide is already passed. It was at 10:46. So the tide is still heading out as far as the bay is concerned, and we'll reach low tide at 3:56. There you have it. We've got a few callers here we're going to have to take. I'm going to take this caller here. Caller, very good afternoon to you. Thank you for calling.
Ralph?
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing better than I deserve.
I was listening to you talking about Indian motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I had one back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 53 single-cylinder foot shift.
Wow, okay.
And it was about a 218 cc cubic inches.
Wow.
I didn't have no lighting for it. I bought it in a basket from this kid down South End for $15.
Wow.
And it took me a year to put together. And I turned it into a scrambler.
No kidding. It's like a...
And I went out to Middleborough with it. I didn't win anything, but it was just that it was a low-slung Indian scrambler. Made a trailer for it and everything else. But then I had a young family, and I said, what am I doing if I get hurt? I have no insurance. But I wanted to let you know that I just recently got a notice from Indian people that, to buy these little, they could buy the little cars.
Yep.
Well, they want you to buy these little, miniature motorcycles, about 6 of them, from 1910 to 06, I think it is. When
they built, it's like from the Bradford Institute, Bradford collections and things like that, make these little...
Yeah, have you seen them there?
I've seen them advertised, yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want to know if you had seen it.
No, I haven't seen one in the real, but I've seen them advertised. They make so they're making replicas of the Indian motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make the Indian company is back in business, The motorcycle now.
Yes,
the new Indian.
They must because they were making them in 2000 here.
Yeah, they got the new Indian Springfield.
Yeah.
And, they have it. I haven't been to a dealer. And they have a model, the Black Bullet, I think they call one, something like that. And they have the Scout they made. And they're pretty progressive company here.
Yeah, I used to get the vintage motorcycle magazines, and look at the old bikes. But incidentally, I used to work with your father back in the 50s.
Wow.
I don't know if you want to talk about his late employer before he went on his own.
Oh, yeah, Shockey Tire and Rubber?
Yeah, I was there when he left, when he gave Shockey his notice.
Wow, that was like the 50s. You're going back. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was 58, 59.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Yeah.
And I was there listening to him, and after your father left,
yeah,
man, he said, man, you didn't have nothing nice to say about it. He'll be back. He'll be back.
Huh.
And I says, well, I hope Ralph makes it.
Yeah.
Remember him? He was out on Allen Street, right?
Yep. That's where he started again, because he drove for Shockey Tire and Rubber as a salesman on the road, delivering tires, selling tires down through the Cape, because once in a while I'd talk him into letting me skip school, and I would ride in that old F450 truck, that like those farmer trucks you had with the ranch style in the back to hold all the tires. You know how I used to throw them all in the back?
Yeah.
And deliver the tires down the Cape, and this was before this was the only way to get down there was the old Route 6.
That's right.
Yep, and he'd go all the way down to Provincetown. That's how I got to know the Cape as a real young fella.
I was a buffer, a tire buffer there, and recapping, you know. And,
yep, they did a lot of recaps. Yeah.
He offered me $1 an hour. I was married and had a son, and he gave me $1 an hour, $36 take-home pay. For I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months before I got a raise.
Wow.
That was hard to get along with. What? Well, made it.
Yeah. So your gross paycheck back then was about what, $50 a week?
Well, I was making $36 take home.
Take home. Wow. Okay. $36.
40 hours was $40.
Wow.
$1 an hour.
Yeah. So you know the struggle's all about then, right?
Well, my rent was like $7, and
well, everything was
$25. And
would you say today? Would you say today it's out of proportion? You make a lot more money, but everything's a hell of a lot more. It's more expensive. So people are actually poorer today.
But the ratio is the same.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a little tougher today. You got more expenses you got to carry.
It seems like it.
By default, in other words, proportionally,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the people like back then didn't have the tax burden you have today. It's much higher on working people, if you're working.
Well, if you ever struggled when you started out life, working, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely.
And you struggled too.
Yeah.
And so you're not struggling now. I don't imagine, but.
Well, no, it's still a battle. I'll be frank with you, frank with the audience. It's a struggle to stay in business today. I make no pretenses about that at all. The last, I can tell you, it's been a challenge. It really has been a challenge to keep going. It has been a challenge, and I'm not alone. I'm sure if any other business person wanted to be candid and truthful with the audience, they would say the same thing. I mean, I think very few of us are prospering out there. Okay, in the private sector anyway.
Yeah, well, what year were you born?
I was born in 51.
51?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you were a kid.
Yeah, I was a kid.
You never went to the garage?
I remember going down to, they used to have that bar next door, the Wagon Wheels there. What was that?
Yeah, down our bar.
Right. The Wagon Wheels. What the hell was that called? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Wagon Wheels. There was the Norway, and there was all of these bars on Purchase Street where you don't see no more.
Yeah, right. I remember that as a kid.
Remember the Dipper?
Yep. As a kid, yeah. I remember my dad having his last paycheck. I found the pay stub, the envelope, and he had written my last paycheck from Shockey's.
Yeah.
And then he struggled to build the business, and
Yeah, really.
But when he did it, the city had a lot more industry and prosperity back then. We had a lot of jobs. If a man got laid off or fired, he could walk down the street and apply to different places. By the end of the day, he had a job.
Yeah, well,
Shockey
didn't give me any encouragement because I went to night school at vocational and took up welding.
Yep.
And just as soon as I got a little knowledge, I left there and went down to the boatyards and Fayetteville and then worked my way through the shipyards and but I know that I would have struggled even harder if I had stayed with them.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's so now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to better yourself.
How old are you now?
I'll be 79 in a couple of months.
Wow, so you're a relatively young guy. I mean, so when you saw my dad there, my dad was quite a bit older than you then at the time.
I was only like 21, 22.
Yeah, I was going to say you had to be late teenage, early 20s. Yeah, all right. That makes sense now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop by the shop sometime. I'd like to talk to you about your experiences there. Do you remember Manny Oliveira? He worked.
Which one?
Manny, he used to live at the top of Hawthorne and Slocum Road. And there's some other guys. How about? You'll come to me here in a minute. He's Eddie Trudell.
No. What are you
gone
talking?
now.
Shops?
Well, yeah, no, he worked at Shockey's too, I think, Eddie Trudell.
Yeah, when you're talking Indians, the straight.
Well, not the bikes. We're talking about people who worked at Shockey Tire and Rubber.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was just changing the subject.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
About this guy Remy Turgeon that had an Indian shop out in by the ledge.
Yep.
Well,
Oh yeah, sure. There's still a motorcycle on top of the roof on the ledge out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old building. Yep, I know. Right at the ledge. Yep. Right on the edge of the ledge.
Right.
Well, okay. I'm going to let you go. We're coming up to the news.
Hey, thank you for letting me talk.
Oh no, I appreciate your call and call back.
And I'll see if I can get out to your place one of these days.
All right. Fair enough.
Take care.
Thank you. Folks, thank you for listening. We'll be back after the news in about 5 or 6 minutes. We'll talk about whatever's on your mind. The other caller was hanging on there. Please call back after the news, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you. You're listening to All About Cars with Ralph Medeiros. We'll be back. Hey, we're back with All About Cars with Ralph Medeiros. Thank you for listening. You can give us a call here at 996-0500, 996-0500. For those of you who don't know, I own and operate Ralph's Auto Center with my son Andrew at 867 Church Street in the north end of New Bedford. We're just off of Route 140, exit 5, Church Street exit, Church Street Phillips Road if you want to really become technical. Take that exit, head down Church Street. We're on the right-hand side, just a half mile or so down from 140. The on-ramp, off-ramp, just past Regal House and Web Plumbing and Heating and Dollar General, right in that little cluster of businesses. And there we are, directly opposite of New Bedford Vocational's faculty and bus entrance, okay, on the Church Street side. Very easy to get to, not a traffic light or a stop sign to come down and see us for service. There we do all kinds of maintenance and repairs. We work on pretty much everything. And if it's something we can't handle efficiently for you, we'll tell you we can't handle it, and you have to go to this person or that person. We have different people out there that we know who specialize in certain type of repairs, and they could be just basically more efficient than we're going to be at it, and they're set up for it. So we don't pull any punches. We tell you right up front. But the majority of stuff we can handle and save you some money, from many other facilities. And we only do what's necessary. We do a lot of restorative maintenance, meaning we just do. If we go in to do a certain repair, and instead of replacing all kinds of parts, that are connected to that item, that still have a lot of life left, we don't do that. We do what's necessary to do the repair, make an intelligent decision to just go in and minimally replace, what's necessary to keep the parts bill in line and your labor bill in line, and that's our policy. And we try to practice it. We're not perfect. We make mistakes like everyone else out there, but we do correct them and try to continue to earn your goodwill in the marketplace. So if you need something as basic as an oil change, we do oil changes as 5 quarts of semi-synthetic oil, new filter from $19.99 plus tax and disposal. Set of wiper blades, $14.99 plus tax. So you can get an oil change and a set of wiper blades for $35 plus your taxes and disposal. So it's an outstanding value. A lot of places charge just $35 to do the oil change. So you should look us up, and we can help you out with any of your technical problems. And we try to work with you. A lot of folks out there are struggling. It's no joke. As I was telling a previous caller in the first hour, it's a challenge to get through and survive. We're up, frankly, we're out for election every day. Every day we're open. You vote with your dollars, and we're out there competing for your dollars and trying to earn your goodwill, and so we can keep our shop going and our boys busy. And I just don't make any pretenses about that. It's a struggle. And being an urban businessman, it's a challenge to attract people from suburbia. So we deeply appreciate that people come from out of town. We service a lot of folks from out of town, come see us, and we service their cars. We deeply appreciate that. And also we offer a quality line of used automobiles. My son Andrew runs pretty much the used car department. You can go by and talk to him if you're in the market planning. The smartest thing to do is if you're going to think about getting another car, is come in and talk to us. And if it's something we don't have in a lot, generally we stock cars between $4,000 and $15,000, and trucks, SUVs up to $20,000. And we also sell cars that cost considerably more. If you want one, we bring them in for people, regardless of the model, and we can bring in a car for you. But it takes planning and coordination, and we can save you thousands versus some of these big guys on the major highways and Route 6 and up in the Auto Mile and all those other places. They have huge overheads. So generally speaking, we can save you a lot of money. It just takes a little patience on your side and cooperation between us both, and we can save you money. So it's something, and we do it for a lot of folks, those who, use their head and they want to save money. You just don't let walk in and some of these places and you let the emotion take you over on a car you see and you think you may like. And very often some of these guys are quite expensive. I mean, I see some of these prices. I can't believe some of the prices some of these dealerships get. And they don't really service the cars out. That's what really blows my mind. I constantly deal with people weekly because we're a GWC service center for warranties, and we get referred by them because to do repairs, and they come from all over the area, all over Bristol County for sure. And I can't believe the condition these cars are in, and people just, for the most part, have just owned them for 30 days or less. And, we're doing work that should have been done by the dealer who sold the car. And very often the customer ends up paying because the insurance company, the underwriter, doesn't pay the dealer to, in other words, what I'm trying to say is when you buy an insurance or a warranty on your car, the warranty company does not want to pay to restore the car for resale. Okay, that's supposed to be done before the insurance is put on it, that type of thing. So a lot of consumers get upset when they find out the car and they have to go back and argue with the dealership. That's very common. Maybe you've experienced it. And you know what they say about experience. Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. Okay? Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. And that's what you learn is experience. So, here we go. We'll start the program off. We've got a call on the line. Please hang in there, caller. We'll be with you in a minute. We'll start the tune here. This song will be a good song for maybe Bernie Sanders or Hillary. Here we go. If it queues up. Matt, are we online? Here we go. I hope. Okay, it's rebooting up. We're having some technical issues here. Stay with us. We'll bring this song up as soon as we get the bugs worked out. Huh? It's not queuing? Okay. Well, you know what? We got a caller here. I'll take the caller. Oh, call back that was just on the line. Sorry, the caller was just ringing. I got this caller. Oh, hold on there, caller.
Hello?
Yeah. Hi, caller, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, come on, Jay. Speak.
How are you?
Good. The other caller was on the line. Please call back.
Now, you were talking about insurance costs, health insurance, that is.
Yep.
And how everything spiraled. Well,
I just got whacked with a 25% bump, and I went in my office manager. Well, I just question. I don't think the hospitals, the industry is experiencing those kind. I think
you're subsidized.
We're subsidized, yeah, and I think it's reaching the point where they're just killing people, working people, and small businesses in the communities.
This is the results of Obamacare and Romney Care.
Well, in Massachusetts, we've already had a very socialized version of this, and we've been paying right along.
And it broke down a long time ago.
Well, it's getting to the point where it's getting very difficult to, provide these type of benefits. And the employer, it's getting difficult for both of them to afford it. I mean, that's the realities. Yeah. That's the realities.
The reality is that, we were sold a bill of goods, as often happens, and it was going to drive down the cost of medical insurance, and of course it didn't, because on the other side of the coin, you've got the ambulance chasing lawyers who will jump on a misdiagnosis. God forbid you go in with a stomach ache and they don't tell you your appendix is about to burst. God forbid.
Yeah.
Because then you can sue them. You know, and hey, this is part of the reason why doctors order unnecessary tests, and they do.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to cover themselves.
Well, I don't think anyone would argue that, except for the lawyers, the trial lawyers, that we need tort reform in this country for sure. But, I mean, there are good doctors, bad doctors, like there are good lawyers and bad lawyers, and good mechanics and bad mechanics. I mean,
right.
I've seen that through my career. And we're reaching a point, Jay, where, I mean, it's a noble thought to have everyone provided with health care, and some would say it's a right. But when you have so many people who don't contribute, who don't work, and we have to carry them.
Yep.
I mean, there's less people pulling the wagon and more people, are riding in the wagon.
Yeah.
And we're reaching the point here when you're running out of other people's money.
Yep.
And these are the realities that people of the left don't want to think about. And,
they don't even consider it.
And you have too many people who are just non-contributing. They're takers and not givers, willingly or otherwise. And, we're at a philosophical crossroads here in this country.
I'll tell you, this is two personal experiences with me. My wife takes a medication that she used to pay $80 a month for.
Mm-hmm.
We switched insurance companies. You know how much she pays now?
Probably it went up, no doubt, right?
$4.
Oh, $4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why the huge drop?
Couldn't tell you.
Is your plan that much better with this company here now?
Apparently. Yeah. And the premium is less.
Well, you're shopped
around.
around.
That's why I switched companies, because the other company was going to go up on their co-pays for specialists, emergency rooms.
That's what we're dealing with now. We're going to have to shop it because...
and so I did.
And we've been compromising for years. Our plans are getting to be of less quality, i.e. higher deductibles.
And I was shocked the first time I drove her to the drugstore to pick up her medication that was $80, and she comes out and she says to me, "Guess how much I paid for this?" And I went, $90. She goes, $4. I said, $4 for what? $4?
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah." And I was astounded.
Yeah.
And then she went to a doctor. January 12th of 2016. Now, I told you we switched plans, okay? So what does the doctor do? He orders tests. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And he orders tests in an out-of-state laboratory. They bill the old insurance company. In the mail yesterday, I get a bill for $680 for the test. And I looked at who they billed. I immediately called them and said, "You guys sent this bill to the wrong insurance company." "Oh, what do you mean? This is what we have." I said, "I don't care what you have. This is the new insurance." And she presented the card at the doctor's office. "Oh, well, we'll have to." I said, "You better fix it."
Well, yeah, they'll have to if they want to get paid, right?
Damn right, because I ain't paying them.
Yeah. So, I mean, that happens. I mean, I went through that. My insurance company had dropped me inadvertently because we had an employee who dropped out, and they dropped me out. And Tammy, my office manager, went crazy trying to get me reinstated by them, the bureaucracy, because I had some doctor's appointments, and it's just the system. You have to deal with it, the bureaucracy. These are not easy questions. These are not, and we have our society is, in my opinion, I've never seen the country as sick as it is. Mentally and physically, okay? I mean, I know that's easy to make that and backbench this, but we have to reinvent ourselves as a society, and I don't know. I just think
I remember when we used to have insurance and there were no computerized wonder systems. And it's funny. because they never made a mistake back then. You know, maybe once a year they would make one mistake. Now it's like once a week.
Well, I mean, a lot more people have access to the system. A lot more people are getting, services from medication as well as, going to the doctors, elderly as well. I remember years back, before Medicare, a lot of the old-timers would just die in this. But most men, they got to 65, they would collect a year or two of Social Security, they were dead.
Yeah, right. Now they're living till 80.
Right. I remember a lot of men back in the 60s, if a guy made 65, he was an old son of a gun.
Yeah.
And most of them didn't make this. If they saw 70, man, they were ancient. And that was reality.
Right.
And the gals, well, they would go a bit longer than the men for sure. Back in the day, of course, today we have better health care. In a sense, we have better health care, but we seem to have more sick people, physically and mentally, especially. Well, sir, thank you for the call.
Have a good one.
Yep. Bye-bye. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Ralph. Listen, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I was at a new car dealership,
Yep.
and I was going to purchase a car, and there was a $400 either storage or handling, or I don't remember what the guy said. He said all dealers put that on now.
Dock fee.
Dock fee, that's
right,
what it is.
that's
yeah.
dock fee, yeah.
Is that true, that all dealers?
Well, they're trying to screw you for another $400 in gross, yeah. A lot of them will have come-on prices. They have some very aggressive prices, especially the Boston paper. It started in the Florida market, I think, pretty much. And you go in and you see this real aggressive price, and you go in there and they'll tell you, hey, we have a dock fee. What do you mean a dock fee? Well, that's to prepare your documents. How much? They can range anywhere from $400 to $900. Some are higher, depending on the deal.
Is that legal?
I guess it's legal because they're asking for it. They're not, and you can argue about paying it or not, and you just tell them, hey, I'm not paying it, and you walk out the door.
Well, he made it sound like it was a new law.
No, I ain't paying you no $400 dock fees.
That all new law, car dealerships have to put that dockage fee on there.
He's full of hit, my friend. You add the S.
So I didn't buy the car anyways.
Yeah. What brand were you looking at?
I was a Ford.
Ford.
But, Ralph, you haven't been putting your cars on the law and telling us the prices over the phone. I mean, over the radio. I used to like that.
Yeah, I can read you some. I just told Matt I got to get back to business here. No, I have. We have some selections. Yeah, and we also. Do you get online at all?
Sure. Yeah.
You get on computer? You got a computer?
I got it right in front of me. Yeah.
Oh, you can go to ralphscars.com. We always update our website, ralphscars.com.
Do they give the prices or just the car?
Oh, everything. Price. For full disclosure.
Oh,
full disclosure. Yeah, we're not afraid. We go out there, and we run our prices competitive. And because when you advertise on the internet, you're telling the world, and we won't get people calling us from all over the world, for that matter, and out of the state and in the state. So you have to be competitive. You have to be on the infield when you. And these cars are serviced out. We put the money.
How long is your warranty on it?
Our warranties on the majority of our cars are a minimum of 90 days.
90 days.
Yeah, and you can extend that if you wish, but we put in most of the cars, and by law we only have to go max on 30 days on a lot of cars, and that's meaning mostly to get a sticker. The car has to get a sticker. So were you looking at a new car or a good quality?
Used car.
Oh, all right. Well, we can help you there for sure.
I'm going to take a ride by and see what you got there. But I like to listen to you tell the prices and the type of car and what you did to it.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of information,
Yep. I appreciate that. Thank you
very much.
Yep. Thank you for the call. Very good call. Okay. We're going to come back. We'll talk about cars. I'm going to play a tune here, and I'll do my homework here. Stay with us. Matt, we're queued up now, right? Well, maybe not. I don't know. I think NSA is on our computer here. Here we go.
Krasная,
Good tune for Bernie's or Hillary's inauguration if they make it. Okay. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Hey, good afternoon, Ralph.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Some medical stories, you know. Years ago, I broke an ankle, and I was sent to physical therapy after it was repaired. It was a physical therapy unit owned by the doctor. Yeah. And I'm a great observer of what goes on. And I was fascinated to see that physical therapist was actually seeing 3 patients in the same time period.
That's good efficiency, huh?
Well, they get you started on an exercise, they go to the next, and then they go to the next. You know, well, I am never late. Well, I was heading for one physical therapy session, and I forgot what, maybe it was Route 140, a horrible accident, and you weren't going anywhere. And I was 7 minutes late. You can guess what they said. Well, we're not going to see you today.
Tough, huh?
Yeah, well, it's all about the money. Though I can wait for them.
Yeah. You
know, I guess, well, obviously my time is not as valuable. You know, there's another story in the physical therapy world. Years ago, my mother had Parkinson's, a rough ride. Yep. And she had a problem with her knee, and they did knee replacement surgery. The surgery succeeded, but she was not up to learning to walk again. So the last time she walked was into the hospital. But the neurologist wanted to give it one more try. Don't give up. I respect that. Went to the therapy unit. And this was 20 years ago. It came down to $3 a minute, which is a sizable chunk of change. And Medicare was taking care of it for a certain period of time. And it wasn't working. And finally I said to the therapist, if this was the end of the Medicare period, would you recommend continuing? And she very quietly said no. We're done. Thank you. You know, everybody milks the system.
Oh, it's rampant everywhere. I agree.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're trying to clean it up. I think they're tightening the system.
I don't think they're succeeding at all, to tell you the truth.
I don't know. When I go there, they shake you down.
No, they're not. You know, it's funny. I was talking with a small businessman last Saturday, and he told me what happened to his doctor. It was one of the big practices. I don't think it's local, but one of the big practices where he was thrown out of the practice. Guess why?
Spending too much time with customers?
You got it.
Yeah.
It's all about churning the money.
Yeah.
Until you get the obscene, and it has become obscene, profitability on all of this, you're not going to fix it. And it's fine to say shop around. But, you know, the guy who's having a heart attack, give me the phone book, I'll check what hospitals are available. Really?
Well, I think a lot of people are getting care in this country far better than what they're getting in most other countries throughout the world, except for maybe the Norwegian countries.
Well, that's actually not true.
Yeah.
You know, for example, France has, on their ambulances, has a total triage system. They are almost a mini hospital on an ambulance, under the argument the sooner you treat the patient who's had an accident or a serious problem, the survival rate goes up.
Yeah.
But, hey, we're screwed, and that's the way it is.
Well, don't be so negative. Stay positive.
No, we're screwed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just wondering when it's going to come, or if it's going to come, where those who have been cheated by the system, the kid, for example, who went to college, played by the rules, took out this huge loan and can't get a job because somebody with an H-1B visa got his job. And
well, I don't think that's, I mean, how many, you'd have to have tens of thousands of HB1 visas in the country. Come on.
There are lots of H-1B visas, including Trump taking advantage of them.
You have to have people who take, you know, a lot of people have degrees that are, I don't want to say that meaningless. Education is not meaningless.
Well,
but it can't be applied in the marketplace.
Been screwed by that system.
Well, I think someone who's nice, someone who knows is a computer engineer is going to have no problem. My nephew graduated from Northeastern University, and he's very bright in computer technologies, and he's got a job. He's done exceptionally well.
The H-1B visas are doing a good job on the highly qualified people as well. But I wonder when people will have enough and say, no, you're not going to do it to us.
Well, don't you think the country now is getting fractured in that respect? Don't you think that's happening?
Say again, please.
Don't you think that's taking place in our country now? There's a lot of dissension and fraction, and a lot of...
Well, I mean to the point that we take the big banksters and the big corporate people and...
well, I think there's a lot of people...
Slap them around a little bit.
Well, I mean, you don't want to...
They deserve it.
Well, I don't agree with your adjectives.
Well, I'm just... You're channeling my inner Trump.
Wow, you're inner Trump.
But I thought it was interesting on the 1 o'clock news. Apparently, his rallies are getting a little bit raucous, and somebody just made it onto the stage. And I might have respect Trump if he went over there and grabbed the guy and floored him, or words to that effect, incapacitated him, put his arm behind his back or whatever. No, the hero Trump just backed off. Yeah, but he wanted to punch him out. What a little coward.
How can you say that? How can you say that?
A little coward.
How can you say that? If someone come and approach you and you punch you and you had security people around you, aren't you going to let the people do the job?
But he's the one who bloviates about punching somebody out. What a wimpy little boy.
I'm glad you take comfort in that.
What a wussy man. What a coward.
Hey, all right, I've given you 5 minutes to get your anger out. I got to move on.
One last thought. I don't know if you noticed this week on the European Bank, they lowered the interest rate.
Mario Draghi, yeah. Uh-huh.
Whatever the name is.
Yeah.
But what was interesting, they said, and I don't know if they're going to hold to it, they're not going to do it again.
Hey, listen, what does that mean?
Well...
I mean, they're going to have negative interest rates is what you're saying.
Well, they are. 2 countries already have it.
Yeah. Well, that means you put $100,000 in, they're going to take out a few $100 every month.
Again, that's an example of what I'm talking about. When people are fed up, their money is being stolen from them.
Well, you know
why? They've had enough.
We do have a plutocracy going on. I mean, no one argues that. If any thinking person, but
we obviously see.
But you know what? Your way
repeated on the news how the people at the top are doing very well. Thank you very much.
Of course, they're doing well. They're connected.
They're connected, and they get the rules written their way.
Absolutely, because you don't show up to vote. Maybe not you personally. But most people are too dumb and stupid. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they support Trump. Hey, take care, my friend.
Listen, that's okay. That's your opinion. I'm not advocating for Trump, but I have to challenge you on that.
To me, the popularity of Trump
you're probably
is a reflection of how messed up this country is.
Did I have you marching playing that song, the previous song?
Well, that's the... I've seen a lot of socialism. What was it? The 4 bankruptcies that you got away with? Boy, a coward socialist. Hey, have a good one.
Hey, I hope you had a good therapy session with us just now. But very good call. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Ralphie.
Hey, how are you?
This is Billy.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe that people think bankruptcy is a bad thing when a lot of them are restructuring chapters and they're not all...
You know what? Bankruptcy very often teaches people inexperience, and they learn from their mistakes, okay?
But it doesn't mean you're sticking it to everybody. A lot of those chapters are restructuring chapters.
Well, how many people did Solyndra stick it to?
I've never done it, but...
And Enron and these other huge entities that went down. I mean, everybody has failures in their life. Some of them, some are from corrupt organizations to begin with.
But you can pay people and restructure your situations that are legal situations.
I mean, like I said, I'm not for Trump. I'm not against Trump. I'm just an observer of what's taking place in our country.
If I had to go into business with any guy that's running, it would have to be him.
Yeah.
It would have to be. Because to me, he makes common sense. But anyway, moving on from that, I have a quick question for you.
Go.
Okay. Are you going to play a song, a good song? You were going to look into Leonard Cohen, but you didn't.
Leonard Cohen?
You were going to check into I'm Your Man.
Yeah,
but the other one I like is, who did that song about I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be thinking of you. That one. Oh, that's an old one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I heard it on the oldie station.
How old now? When you said?
Oh, gee, I don't know. It was on the oldie station.
What's oldies? 60s?
Where's the fuel filler on 52 Caddy?
Wow.
That's a short wheelbase. It wasn't. It was
52
way before.
Caddy? It was.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Yeah, 52.
52.
Right in that.
I think
before they got long. Before they got Elvis.
If I remember correctly, you had to press the taillight button and lift the back of the taillight up and fill the tank up.
Oh man, you are with it. And where was the exhaust?
Came out the bumper.
Oh man, you're too slick. You owe me a song. I gave you an easy one.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ralph.
See you later.
56 degrees.
Yeah. She tried to trap me. Well, women are known for that, I guess, huh? I'm going to get in trouble now. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Hey, how are you today?
Oh, I'm just better than I deserve, truly.
Beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
That's
I love this country.
New Bedford's plugging along a systemic breakdown of the whole educational system, leadership, police in the schools.
Wow, but
and we
you know what?
School teachers calling up talking about Donald Trump. They should be doing this and talking about how they're sucking up a pension off my back and how they were never held accountable for what they taught.
We are a very fractured society, but you know, in defense of New Bedford and its school system, New Bedford is a microcosm of larger cities. It could be a lot worse here. It could be like a Detroit or a Chicago.
Got in the schools.
Well, that's unfortunately not very uncommon throughout these United States and just about every.
Geez, we never had that before Barack Obama came to office.
Oh no, we've had it prior to Obama.
Not like this.
Well, no, but
there's an entire breakdown of society.
Well, I won't argue with you that it's. I'm not saying it's getting better. I'm saying that this is not something new. In other urban centers.
8 years.
Well, no, like Chicago, Detroit. I've been in those cities, and they're a much different environment. Baltimore. I've spent time in Baltimore. I've done business in Detroit. They're much tougher cities, much tougher than New Bedford. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, guess
I mean,
what?
we have our issues. I'm not arguing, but see, it's not. I mean, it's easy for people to blame New Bedford. It's not a New Bedford problem. I mean, it's a problem for the city, for sure, but it's a cultural problem. Well, it's a cultural problem in the United States that leadership at all levels are not addressing, or they're addressing in a tepid way. And
we're not doing the job. They're all getting paid.
Well, I don't argue that. They're all getting
and they're all getting benefits, and they're all getting retirement, and they're all getting raises every year.
Well,
but there's never been so many problems. You got big problems in the schools. You got big problems over in Europe. You got big problems here in this country.
But you have to look at it. We're entering the age of consequence. Okay, we're reaping what we've sown. We're entering the age of our. Well, no, but
it's liberals.
Well, it's
liberals.
Well, I don't argue.
Now they want the conservatives to come bail them out.
Yeah, well,
okay, a liberal can't fix the problem. All they can do is cry about it.
Well, we have some serious cultural and social problems in our country that are not getting better, and we're subsidizing. Unfortunately, we're not subsidizing the right things in our society.
I just heard you guys talking about the insurance. Obamacare is killing it. If you shop it, we went from 18 to 14.
Our insurance is killing us. It's putting us out. It's really between that.
No, you can keep doing it. Work a little hard.
Yeah, well, that's
the
point.
Ralph.
I'm getting tired of working harder and harder.
No, you should be working harder.
Yeah, and these health insurances, these taxes, everything's out of whack. So the burden falls on people and companies, small entities, and it's getting tougher and tougher.
We got a heroin epidemic. We got a systemic breakdown of the entire school system.
It shows you how sick our society is. It's not just a New Bedford issue, though. So we can't just blame the city. Okay.
Well, you're seeing it here in New Bedford right now.
Well, you're seeing it everywhere. It's not unique to New Bedford. Dartmouth's had some heroin overdoses, and
no, they don't have the cops. The kids are coming out of the school.
Well, they have a local police officer that goes to the high school.
There's more than that. This was a big thing this week.
Well, I know it was. Yeah. Well, I mean, they have to. You have to get tough. I mean. No,
they're not going to get tough. Re-elect me. I'll be your mayor. You pay me.
No, because next thing they'll accuse you of different things, and these things. Well, I mean, listen, it's unfair to many kids. There's some good kids who are poor, who live in inner cities, including New Bedford, who are bright and deserve an opportunity. If there's punks in the same neighborhood with them, and these people have to be, removed from these types of environments that brings down kids who want to get ahead and learn. Now, it's going to take some testicular fortitude to do these things, and that's where it's missing. Okay, that's Well,
I don't see one leader out there.
Well, I won't argue with you. There's a lot of people who are just being. You know what? It's like a lot of deers in the headlights. It's like people. Yep. They're politically correct. They're afraid to move, and they're going to be called racists, homophobes, whatever the name, adjectives you want to come up with. And there's a lot of anger from left to right. And
well, you could call me a homophobe. I don't agree with any of that.
I have nothing against them. That's their business, not mine.
Just don't shove it in my face. But now they want to shove it in your face.
Just don't ask me to pay for it. It's all I basically.
You are paying for it.
Well, no, I take more of a libertarian view towards that. But I mean, what they do in their lives, I have a lot of gay friends. I could care less. I mean, okay. I mean, that's their choice. But it does, that's it.
It doesn't help the societal issues.
Well,
the more you say it's okay, the more you give these kids room for their brains to wander.
Wow.
So. And, Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. That's all I got to say. Have a nice day, Ralph.
See you later. Okay. Now that we're solving all these problems out there, I like to observe what's taking place in our society. I personally am not a Republican or a Democrat. Yes, I am. I would say that when it comes to the side of government and economics, I am more conservative because I see the cost of running these organizations and the taxes it takes that they take out of me. That's I can't update my time machine and these kind of things, capital investments I'd like to make, but when you have to carry all these burdens to go forward, it makes it much more difficult to raise capital in a very competitive environment when a lot of your customers are struggling. Now, I'm talking from my as a small business. This is not unique. I'm sure some other guys out there, whether you're in my trade, or if you're a builder or a carpenter or a real estate agent, you're going through some of the, in your own way, these trials and tribulations to survive. It's never been easy. It wasn't easy for our parents and grandparents, but the system's out of whack. We're not so much a free economy anymore, nor are we that free anymore when you really start to analyze. George Washington once said of the British people, this is paraphrasing, but the British people are free, but between very high walls. Well, I think that's appropriate for us today as well. Okay, I got a couple of calls here I got to take quickly. And, okay, this caller. Hi, caller. Very good afternoon to you.
Hi, good afternoon, Ralph.
Hi.
To your last caller,
yeah.
We're not mentioning names.
Yeah.
But I've heard him before. Very controversial.
Oh.
Tell him I'd like to meet him anytime, any place. We'll talk. Me and him, man to man. Yeah, because you know what? You want to cause a revolution? We'll cause a revolution. I don't mean that to sound sarcastic.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to the point that every call that he makes is got a complaint.
Well, the last two callers, you could say that's true, no?
It's gotten to the point I am tired of listening to BSM and listening to all the complaints that are being made is nothing positive. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, well, you got to stay. Keep your mind, be the change you want to see in the world, okay? That's what
and I've always been that positive person to try to say that's going to happen.
Yep.
But right now, okay, let's not talk about the city views or Massachusetts views. Let's talk about the world.
Well, the world
is in turmoil.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. You're right. But you know what? It's pretty much always been. But there have been improvements made, so you have to stay positive. I mean, there's been healthcare improvements in third world countries. There's much more work to do. I mean, there's still a lot of strife, but the general human race, if you will, there's been some positive improvements. Granted, I mean, some people say it's nowhere near as much as it could be, but still, more people have been raised out of poverty, out of China, than in the history of the world. Of course, it's come at some of it at our expense, but...
And the reason I like calling you Ralph is I can say a few things about you.
Yeah.
You seem well-educated. You seem to be well up to date on what's going on in the world because you do study.
Yeah.
I mean, you homogenize that computer, and you and you analyze everything. And I respect you for that.
Yeah, I try to keep an open mind.
Every word that comes out of your mouth is truth. It's not fabricated.
I don't have a specific agenda. I have my opinions. You agree with them or you don't. But I try to stay positive, and I do. I mean, every community has its issues, and to just say New Bedford has all these problems, yeah, we do have some issues, but we're not unique. This is an endemic.
Well, I knew your dad.
Yeah.
I knew your dad well. My mom and dad knew you well. They bought cars with your father.
Yeah.
My family has a long history with your father, and they loved your dad.
Yeah, my dad worked hard. He was a straight player, that's for sure.
They thought the world of him.
Yep.
And I can always say this about you: the footsteps that you're following are much more advanced, and you seem more inclined to specify your views in light of all the political and all the other aspects of everything else that's going on in the world. Listen, we're living in a world of crisis right now. We're close to World War III. People do not realize this.
That's very true.
We cannot make the people in New Bedford make this understandable. Because you know why? It's a liberal state. Massachusetts is liberal. It's food stamps, it's Medicare, it's babies, it's everything this, that. They don't care what happens. But I'm going to tell you something right now. When something happens, they're going to care.
Right. Well, no, it's going to be chaos, okay? The system, you can see it's going to be... Now, those programs you mentioned, I'm not necessarily against them. I just think they're very poorly managed, and the abuses abuses in our society are at all levels. They're at the highest levels of governance. They're at the highest level of corporate governance, as well as the lowest levels. And it's a whole society. It's not just. It's easy to blame the banks, the government, your senator, your congressman, your rep, but it's an endemic of our society, our culture. We have to. It requires you, as you expressed your feelings to me, and you stay in the game, you stay informed, and you try to be a good American, practice good citizenship, and try to improve yourself as well as the community. And that's positive. That's good. We have to have less takers. Everybody's in line to get something for nothing, and nothing is for nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
Like you said, Ralph, the number one main source around here is abuse.
Yep.
And that's the thing that bothers me. I'm not going to say who I am, what I did.
Yeah.
I worked at places, in banks and this and that, and
that's
I've
good.
watched people have their checks deposited, and the next week they're broke.
Well,
they're at the corner store playing the lottery.
Yep.
They're scratching tickets. They're playing Keno.
That's
and they're at the package stores.
I hear you. Human nature, brother. I got to let you go. Thank you for the call, though.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Call again. Stop by the shop sometime.
Sometime.
All right.
You got it, Ralph.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see who's up next. Okay. Thank you for holding, callers. Caller, you're on. Thank you for holding.
Hey, Ralphie.
Hey. Oh, God. I'm getting a workout today.
Where's Billy? Billy behaving?
Yeah, Billy's behaving. We've got a few minutes, so...
I'm going to give you some positivity for you and your listeners. You ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Massachusetts is a liberal sewer, and I'm going to add some chemicals to make it a little bit better. I'm going to get rid of some of the...
That's really unfair to say something like that.
Yeah. We're in a...
Not staying positive.
We're in a permeated demagogue of a stink of a state, and I'm trying to make it better by voting for Trump. And I'll tell you why.
Well,
that's the revolution. It's coming.
Well, I think you possibly could be disappointed, maybe, in your mind. I don't know.
Well, I hope they bring in people. They got to get rid of Hillary and Bill in politics. I mean, the Kennedys, they should have been in federal prison. I believe that's where Hillary's going with some nice little silver jewelry on her wrist.
You said Kennedys in plural.
Yeah, the Kennedys. Yeah, a lot of them should have been in federal prison.
I thought Jack Kennedy was one of the best presidents we've had in modern times.
Yeah, but I think that the liberal stink that's been going on in this state for so long, and the political structure. Look at the MBTA, look at the Turnpike Authority, look at our pension systems in our inner cities. We can't. It's not sustainable.
Well, let's see if
they're crushing the middle class.
Let's see if your governor makes any significant changes.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
get involved and show up at fundraisers for your candidates. Donate money to them, and stay involved. That's all I can say. And I think you have to stay positive, less negative.
Yeah, so I suppose you're right, but I figured I
know, you let your venom, and I seem to be getting a lot of anger today from people, but I got to let you go.
Well, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to get the sewer. I'm going to put some more chemicals to get rid of the stink.
Well, don't forget, you live in this state, too, so you're contributing. You're contributing to the stink, so I got to let you go.
All right.
Bye. Very good afternoon to you, Colin.
You know, Ralph, some people have a problem. People on the dole spending money on lottery tickets. But I don't have a problem with that at all because I figured we're getting some of that money back.
That's right. They're helping lower your taxes. Keeping them from going up any higher, maybe, or slowing them down from going up.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if they spent it on drugs, it would be going out of the country. But if they spend it on lottery tickets, then, you know, it goes to the state and the city and town, stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, everybody wants to be a millionaire. Some people don't mind working for it, and other people think it's going to fall out of the sky, but usually those other people are disappointed. But that wasn't really the reason I called. Did you see that they're trying to form an Indy race car team, an anti-Hillary race car team?
No, I didn't see that. Nope.
Yeah, it's they're trying to do like a group funding for it, and it's. I had it up here on the computer, but I don't have it now. You could find it. It's the anti-Hillary 16 race car. They haven't said who the driver will be, but they haven't come up with that much money yet. They're looking for $1 million to race it in the Indy 500, and they figured that'd be a good way to get the word out.
Wow.
I didn't realize there was.
I don't know if that's such a good idea though to politicize auto racing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't realize there was as many anti-Hillary people as you and me. I thought we were just the minority, but maybe smart people are growing in number.
I'm for Hillary for prison. I don't think we need. After the Clinton administration, what they put through, and everybody thought he was great, and the economy and
everybody but forgets that.
You look at the legislation that passed. Glass-Steagall was rescinded under his administration.
Absolutely.
NAFTA was approved under his administration. China, world favored nation, most favored nation under his administration. I mean, so much corruption and just I don't know.
My mother was a big fan of Clinton, and I remember he came out one time and he said, "We're going to have the most honest administration." She was like, "Oh, that's it. We're going to have it." And I said, "Well, wait a minute. No. He just said those words. Now we have to actually see if that's what happens." And she was like, when she heard it, you know, being the staunch, God bless her soul, the staunch Democrat she was, oh, he said it. Oh, that's it. It's going to be. And it wasn't. That was one of the most corrupt administrations around.
Yeah, unfortunately. It was a big party.
Yeah.
It was a big party.
There's one thing I've been meaning to tell you about, but I don't think it's on anymore. There was a great show on the History Channel around the end of the year, and it was a number of shows, and it was called Hunting Hitler. And if you can find it someplace, it's worth finding it. It's worth finding it. And what it examines is the premise that Hitler did not die in the bunker, as the books tell us.
Yep, I got to let you go, though. I'm running out of time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nice talk with you.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye, Rob.
Folks, we're running out of time here. I just want to say a few things. If it comes to automobiles, if you have access to a computer, please look us up at ralphscars.com. We have some great cars right now. We have a lot of Subarus right now. They're good little cars. We sell a lot of them. Have like an 04 Subaru Forester premium package selling for $84.99. I think I have two Mustangs now, but an 04 Mustang convertible premium package, red. It's doing 64,000 miles. Price at less than $7,000. Got some great cars you can come and check out. Here goes, there he is, Leonard Cohen. That's out for the gal out in Rochester. We have some great cars in stock. Stop by the lot on Church Street and check it out. Got some trucks, Silverado truck, a Jeep Wrangler, Camry, 02 Camry, another Forester, 03, Town and Country van, F-250, pickup truck, Lariat package, 04 Jeep Grand Cherokee, 2011 Grand Cherokee, a Volkswagen Jetta, 05 Lincoln Town Car Signature, silver, clean, priced at under $8,000. We got to go. Thank you for listening. Catch you next week. Be safe.
If you want a boxer